good Friday morning. Happy Friday. We have made it, and it is a gorgeous day out there. I am meteorologist Ben Peine here in Uptown New Albany at the Extol Media Studios. So thanks for watching here. Whether you're on my Facebook page, Extol Weather Facebook page, we'll have the replay there, and on Extol Media on YouTube. And we're going to have a little fun up front, a little fun for this Friday. We're also going to cover some shower and thunderstorm chances that'll head our way after midnight tonight. So we're going to dig into the weather model data as we do every day with the middle portion of our program, our Ben at 10 here. And we're also going to show you some warm and windy conditions for today. We're going to talk about bird migration. We may talk about shrooms again. So we're going to cover a lot of different topics that have been popping up in my head here over the last 24 hours. And if there's any topic that you would like to discuss, feel free to please comment, put in some suggestions, and join the conversation right here on Ben at 10. So thanks for joining us here this morning. And before we really start to dig into that content, just going to say to the very first, pop it in here this morning, it's Bill Gleason from Jody and Bill. So thanks for watching here this morning. Also want to give a shout out to our partners here in Southern Indiana, NWSB Banking. We've got Libs Paving Company, and we have Lions Roofing. We're going to talk a little bit more about Lions. I've got a little testimonial how they just recently helped out my mom and her roof replacement from the storms that happened a little over 3 weeks ago. And then Weddington Custom Homes. Brad Weddington, who built my home, and I think my home was his first custom home when he started his business over 10 years ago. So again, thanks to all of our partners. And again, we'll dig in a little bit more with Lions Roofing and my mom's new roof that I got to check out yesterday as they did that real quickly. Came in the morning and was done by the afternoon. So as I mentioned, if you're jumping on early, you're lucky, because I just want to show you a couple goofy things here as we get started on this Friday. So I just thought this was funny. This caught my attention on the social media yesterday. So this is a wizard in the woods looking at a stream, and it says, "Can I call you back? I'm watching a live stream." So you yourself are watching a live stream of a meme talking about watching a live stream. All right. It's corny. I know. I apologize about that, but I thought that was, I got a little bit of a chuckle out of that one right there. And then we are finding the Southern Indiana's most talented in golf here yesterday. I want to show you this video. This is Olive Applegate. You know Olive from her Olive segments, Angie and Jason's child here, and they had a little spring festival. And watch. She rams it past. You need that power. You can harness that power. And Coach Dad here, lining her up. Maybe take a little.
There it is.
Boom! Nailed it. Way to go, Olive. And you know, I heard Olive was making so many putts, they had to take the putter out of her hands. So she was winning too many prizes. So way to go there, Olive. And this morning, this was a good start to my morning. This is the whippoorwill. I know some of you have talked about you haven't heard it since you were a child. I think there is some research that the way the woods are being managed or the woods are going away, we don't hear the whippoorwill as much these days. You need a healthy forest, and you need kind of pathways so the birds can get around. If there's too much brush, then it just doesn't. This guy was going to town. He was nonstop, this whippoorwill. So a whippoorwill morning. The whippoorwill was happy this morning. And so we have a lot of them still in our forests, which are big oak trees and chestnut oaks. But I know a lot of you say you really haven't heard it in years, or you've moved away from the woods and you haven't heard it. But the whippoorwills are still out there. Angela, thank you very much for tuning in here this morning. Lillian Lasley, thank you for watching the show. We're here because of you. And Chris Hall, thanks for tuning in. All right, so here is back to the roofing. So this was, I think, around March 20th, so a little more than 3 weeks ago. This was my mom's roof. This was a huge pine tree that got knocked down in the winds. This happened when my mom, she's 75 years old, and my grandma, she's 98 years old. They were watching TV. They felt the house shake, and then they didn't know what had happened. They went to bed. They woke up the next day, and this tree had poked holes in the roof. Water was leaking into the drywall of my mom's ceiling there, and that pine tree also had really pokey branches that went right through the roof. So what did we do next? I called my buddy DJ Zip at Lions Roofing. We got on call with American Family Insurance, that's my mom's insurance, with Michael Long, who's a family friend, agent. Everybody teaming up. Really appreciated everybody. The adjuster came within a few days. DJ and his crew got a huge tarp put over it to prevent any more leaking. So that was over the first couple of days. Also, the tree service that came out was like next day noon, got the tree off the roof. So everybody, thank you so much for helping. I'm losing the name of the tree service, or I would call it out, but I believe it's out of Court in Indiana. So back to the pictures here. So then the roofers came out yesterday. Again, this is Lions Roofing. Thanks Kyle Lyons, Vice President there, and also DJ for setting this all up. On the left side, notice that because of those holes, they didn't just cover it up. They had to take out the roofing boards there in some places, put in new boards, and put in a new cap on top, and we're going to have to replace the gutters as well. So that was yesterday morning, and the tough part about this job was the shingles are about 7 years old on that house. Of course, they age and get a little bit discolored. They had to try to match up the color with the shingles, and I thought they did a really good job. Really hard to notice the difference in those shingles there. So I'm just checking out here on my cursor. Let's go back to that. So that is the matchup. Looks really, really good. So I really want to thank Lions Roofing for helping us out there. All right, so this is, again, a look at that new roof. She's happy about it. Now, we just need to have someone come in. Feel free to leave a comment to probably patch or do some work on the drywall of her ceiling in her bedroom. That's where the water leaked through, and then there's water spots and some spots that were damaged from that. So we got Linda Anderson. Good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in here. And Alberta Philpott, thank you for watching this morning as well. As we move on now, we are going to talk about some positive things, and this is the big bird migration. So it is kicking. I talked about this a few days ago. There wasn't a whole lot happening. I'm going to take this page off, put this page on here, but the bird migration is ramping up. So this is birdcast.info, and this is a map of the birds in flight, mostly at nighttime. They are trucking along on the south winds. They are their own prognosticators. Somehow they know what the weather is doing. They have innate senses. The birds' navigation skills are, I think science hasn't figured it out. But they knew that south wind was kicking in. Today, you're going to notice it's a windy day. We'll get to that forecast here shortly. But they are coming in from the Gulf, from Mexico, from Central America. 121 million birds estimated to be flying last night. So you can put this map in motion. That was last night. And then you see as we head to the morning time, they begin to head to the ground, and that's the sunrise, that line right there, by the way. So this map is interactive, really cool to check out. So the birds land, they eat, they refresh, they head to their breeding grounds, and so it's probably going to be like that again for tonight. So 120 million birds in flight, and they're still flying around. So I wanted to tell you that with the bird migration happening now, you might see and hear birds that you've never even heard of. So last spring, my father-in-law, Scott Bell, turned me on to this Merlin app, and I think it's Cornell University. I could be wrong about that. But it will listen to the birds in your backyard, and it'll pop them up. You can click on it. It'll tell you where the where they come from, their habits, what they eat, everything you ever want to know about that particular bird. This was last year, about the same time frame. This was towards late April. There was a rose-breasted grosbeak. A lot of the normal ones you'll see: blue jay, northern cardinal, tufted titmouse, American robin. Then a Louisiana water thrush came through, great crested flycatcher. Got the mourning dove in there, the brown-cheeked fulvetta, never heard of that. And then we had the northern parula, an American crow. We had warblers, all different kinds of birds cruising through our area. So I just thought that was really cool. Again, that is birdcast.info. And if you hear, you'll start to hear at different times this time of the year, all those migrating birds, they land in your yard, and this is the time all those songbirds will be loud and proud in your yard. So know that there are birds crossing that typically don't stay here very long. So very, very cool. That app again is Merlin. Merlin, I believe. We've got Carolyn Butler. Thanks for watching here this morning. Good to see my mom, Laura Young. We just showed off your roof. If you're tuning in a little bit late, you might have to rewatch, Mom, your roof that we had live on earlier. Linda Lawrence, thank you also for tuning in here this morning. All right, let's go ahead and get to that forecast. And then again, we will dig into the weather model data here in just a moment. Let me remove that. We'll add this. Oops, I think I did the wrong one. We're going to add that. We're going to move on here. All right, there we go. High 81 degrees today. It's very, very warm out there. Warm and windy. Some of the wind gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour. John Fox, thanks for tuning in here this morning too. And we've got winds sustained around 15, 25. Some of the gusts around 30 to 35. But it is a warm wind right from the south. It's going to keep us very, very warm all day today. Warm through the weekend. We're on the warm side of a front that'll set up just off to our north. That front will be close enough that after midnight tonight and through tomorrow morning, it looks like southern Indiana will have a chance for a couple of rounds of some rain and some thunderstorms. Low severe weather threat. Again, we'll dig into that threat or the lack of it, we hope. A lot more detail here coming up. Got any after-school sports? It's going to stay breezy into the evening time. My wife was wanting to make a little backyard fire for today, but it might be a little bit too windy for that one. 81 degrees at 4 p.m., 78 at 6, 75 at 8 p.m. So we're talking definitely shorts, t-shirt weather, not worried about the chill in the air that we had pretty much all week after school for sports. South winds around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Our low tonight, 64. So it is almost like a summer-like night feel. We are going to have that chance for some rain developing after midnight, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but again, that overall severe weather threat will stay low. It will stay breezy too, that south wind keeping those temperatures elevated. South wind at around 10 to 20. Sun up tomorrow morning at 7:01. Here is the 7-day forecast. We'll give it about a 60% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow morning. A high of 78 Saturday. I dropped it from 80 just because there's probably going to be a few more extra clouds around with that chance of some rain. If we get breaks, if we don't get as much rain, if we see some storms staying a little farther north Saturday, then 80 is definitely doable for tomorrow. Low temps at nighttime this weekend in the lower 60s. So our normal high, you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, is 71. And so we are going to be trending almost 10 degrees above normal the next several days. So Sunday, I would call it mostly dry during the daytime right now. High of 81 degrees. And then by late Sunday night, during the overnight period, after midnight and early Monday morning, we'll have a line of some showers and thunderstorms with a cool front moving through. Notice that front doesn't drop us off too much as far as temperatures. And again, with that late Sunday night front, it doesn't look like any significant severe weather threat for us or significant flooding. We may see about an inch of rainfall total through the weekend. So Monday, 74 degrees. That rain chance, 40%, is mainly in the morning time. It looks like we'll be drying out in the afternoon. And then we're looking at a high of 75 next Tuesday, back up to around 80 degrees by next Wednesday. Temperatures looking phenomenal next week. We're definitely going to see folks getting out in the gardens, doing the yard work, doing all the spring things. 80 degrees next Thursday. The weather models, the Euro was a little bit drier the last run through Thursday. The GFS had a couple showers popping in next Thursday. It might turn a little bit more unsettled with our weather pattern by late in our next work week and into next weekend. So that will lead into Derby week because we're 15 days away from Derby Day. And if I was going to go on a limb, Ben on a limb, I would say we're looking warm for Oaks and Derby. My guess would be right now upper 70s for Oaks and maybe a low mid 80s for Derby Day. So I think above normal temperatures will continue. So that's my guess right now. We can revisit that 15 days from now and look back at 15-day-old Ben and see if I was right or wrong about that. But right now, very optimistic for Oaks and for Derby, and hopefully for much of Derby week as well. All right, going to remove that. Actually, let's talk about this really quick. If you are impacted, the tree pollen is wild right now. It is possibly impactful. If you're impacted by that, might want some of those allergy meds if you're going to be out and about enjoying this warm weather this Easter weekend. Oak, maple, ash especially, but a lot of trees are the pollinators. Now, once the grass starts growing here over the next few weeks and in the next month or so, the tree pollen goes down. Once you have leaves, grass pollen starts to go up. So maybe trees not your thing, maybe grass is what really hurts you. And then we kind of get a break through summer before the ragweed season. The weed pollen kicks up late summer and into early fall. Also, just want to mention again that we have the Lyrid meteor shower going on. The peak of this is Monday night on the 21st, going into early Tuesday morning. It looks like the moon will rise after midnight, not long after midnight. So late in the evening into the nighttime, if we can clear out, and it looks like we will clear out the clouds Monday night, might have a chance to check out some of those meteors, those shooting stars, Monday night especially. Okay, back here, we'll take off the bird migration that we just talked about a little bit earlier. We give a shout out to extolmag.com/weather. We have a lot of weather tools here. You've got your 7-day forecast, of course, the weather story that I updated that does highlight and time out the weekend storm chances, any severe weather threat, and all that stuff there for you. We've got Edward Jewell watching this morning. Good morning to you. Have a great day. Happy Friday. And Jackie Strange, good to see you here in the comments. So thanks for tuning in. So this is the main page or our main weather page, extolmag.com/weather. And you can click around on any of these maps. You can be your own meteorologist. This is a look at the severe weather threat today from the Storm Prediction Center. It is out to our west, so no concerns there as far as that severe weather threat for us. Severe weather threat is just called marginal, 1 out of 5 for Saturday. So that is going to remain low for our area, a little bit higher for areas off to the southwest. I got regional radar views, drought monitor, any watches or warnings across the area. It's always just kind of fun to click on. If you're going to be traveling, maybe check the NDOT cams out and the traffic map. It's got hot spots too. The roads will go yellow or red if there are any slowdowns in traffic across the area. Seeing more leaves on the trees on the live cam here. This is a look at 265, the Lee Hamilton. And going to move over here to the East End Bridge. There you can see some of that traffic looking good there as well. So grab the sunglasses on this Friday. It's going to be warm and windy out there. Again, that's the NDOT traffic. This is the interactive radar. Again, free, easy to use tool here. We're already up to 70s, lower 70s across our area, and we are dry. So the warm up has commenced as we head up to the low 80s later today. And today's kind of one of those days that we might overshoot. With that south breeze, if we keep getting that sunshine, we may overachieve. There may be some areas that touch near the mid 80s. So back to the radar, you notice there are some returns, some very light rain out to the west. I think that's going to encounter some really low humidity around our area and kind of fizzle out as it tries to move our direction. You can see that slow movement there in western Kentucky, southern Illinois. So I think we do stay dry. If there was an overachieving cloud, maybe a sprinkle out of that, but I really think it's going to stay dry for today. And it's not really until after midnight tonight, we get a better chance of some showers and thunderstorms as that front lays out basically from northeast to southwest, cutting across central Indiana into Illinois and Missouri. So that stationary front just to our north. And again, we're about to head to the middle part of our program, which means we're going to be digging in to those weather models. Brenda Twaddle, thanks for watching here this morning. There's some severe weather up to the north of us, up in Wisconsin. You can see that. And you can see how the interactive map has the alerts here for you. You can click on any of them. That's just a special marine warning there. This is severe thunderstorm warning up towards Michigan. But very helpful tool anytime you want to use it. You can also go down to Central America and the Caribbean and pretend that you're vacationing down there. All right, so that is the interactive radar with other tools too, with the winds, live temps, any watches or warnings, and lightning right there at extolmag.com/weather. You can always play along and use the interactive radar at the exact same time as I am here. All right, so that is that. And as we look at the live cam here, this is fallsoftheohio.org. And we're back to pretty much normal with the Ohio River levels. We can see the trunks of the trees. Those trees were pretty much all underwater. You can see the rapids here at the Falls of the Ohio. Things are looking all back to normal. A lot of sunshine as well, looking towards the city view here from near Ashland Park. Again, that is Falls of the Ohio Foundation. All right, let me go ahead and bring up the weather models. This is a look at the radar and satellite. And so we also have on here the lines of equal air pressure. These are called isobars. We talked about that before. And those isobars, this is an area of low pressure up here. There's high pressure off to the southeast. So we're kind of squeezed in the middle. The atmosphere, kind of like when you pinch the hose and that water shoots out more. We're kind of pinching the atmosphere here, and these lines of equal air pressure are pretty tight, pretty tightly packed. So that airflow is going from high pressure to low pressure. High gives to low. So that airflow goes out of high and into the low. So that means if I clear out some of that, we have a south breeze into the low pressure, and that gust from time to time up to around 30 to 35 miles per hour, but it is a south wind. And that means it is going to be a warm wind for us for today. So other than that, as we look around, again, there was some of that severe weather up to the north over Lake Michigan, heading towards Michigan. Otherwise, much of the United States is pretty dry. And again, I want to point out, this is a huge area of high pressure right here. So that's sinking air. Notice the air clears out at high pressure. And then up here is the opposite. That is low pressure. Low pressure means the air is more lightweight. The air rises. When the air rises, it cools and condenses and produces showers and thunderstorms. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a front that lays down along this, and it's going to be a stationary front. Thankfully, that stationary front is not on top of us for like 4 or 5 days like it was a couple weeks ago, caused all that flooding. And the focus of the really heavy rainfall is going to be mainly off to our north. With that said, we will have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms heading our way after midnight tonight. And we'll see that here with some of the weather model data that I'm about to show you. First, just another little analysis at the surface. You can see we are definitely on the warm side of things as I bring this up to full screen. But look at that. As I promised yesterday, we are now in the warm sector. Kind of almost early summer-like weather is winning out. That warm front is now to the north, but notice the cold front out to the west, where there are still temperatures, 20s up there in Montana, in Wyoming. I'm glad that is not us. They're still dealing with leftover winter. So that is springtime, the battle of summer versus winter. And so that battleground is going to be off to our northwest overall. But there you can see the program here, which is pretty awesome, has the warm front here laid out just perfectly and the cold front right there. Spot the cold front. So easy to do. 60s and 70s out ahead of it. And what is a cold front? It's just a dividing line between warm and cold. So then you've got 30s and 40s. Also know the wind direction change. Behind a cold front, you're going to have a west-northwest wind. And then ahead of the cold front, you're going to have a south wind. And where we have convergence, where those winds meet, you guessed it, the air goes up when it has nowhere else to go. And so you've got that convergence, the air rises and produces showers and thunderstorms. That is the analysis. Now we get to the prognosis. We're going to look at the future radar, the future weather model data, and plan out some of our Easter weekend rain chances. I think we are still looking at plenty of dry time here for us, but there are going to be some periods of some showers and thunderstorms. I think for Saturday, I think Easter looks drier, and then we have a line of storms late Sunday night. Vicky Berger, thanks for watching in. You're a little late, but if you rewatch it, we showed some stuff in the beginning, some various things that you might want to check out. And Gary and Janet Hutchins, late again, but you're here. We appreciate it here on this Friday. Happy Friday to you. And Sheila Meredith, thanks for tuning in here this morning as well. So I'm going to start with the NAM 3 kilometer. This is a high resolution weather model. So now that we are close to the weekend, we are getting the high resolution weather model data. It's not as blobby as the GFS weather model or the Euro weather model. It also can take in convection, which is thunderstorm data. It's just better data, and it's more high resolution. It looks more like real rain that you would see on the radar as well. So we'll go back to this as we time this out. So we're going to jump ahead to, we'll just go to this afternoon. So today is the 18th, and it shows the showers and thunderstorms out to our west. We'll go into a little bit deeper into the late afternoon hours. And again, we are seeing showers and storms out this direction. That's where the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk of severe storms. We are warm and windy here in the lower 80s for this afternoon. Jumping ahead a little bit, so let's just call it today dry. Let's go to midnight tonight, right? Midnight, 1 a.m. And we're starting to see some of this shower thunderstorm activity get a little bit closer to our area. I'm going to tilt this a little bit like that. We'll go through the overnight hours. So after midnight, starting to see a chance for some showers moving into southern Indiana. Again, it doesn't look like we'll have severe weather, but there you can see as we go full screen, at least a chance for some rain moving into parts of our area. This is at around 3 o'clock in the morning. So might get a rumble of thunder as that front gets a little bit closer to our area during the overnight hours. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit farther into our Saturday morning. I'm going to pop this up to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So as we get a little bit deeper through our Saturday morning, our April the 19th, getting into my sister's birthday as well. Happy birthday, Leah. So this is a look at this line of storms starting to move in. So this is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Starting to see that chance of some showers and thunderstorms ramping up as we head to mid tomorrow morning. Let's progress this a little bit to 11 o'clock. Oops, take that illustration off there. And so there you can start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms possibly heading towards around Bedford and Paoli and Medora first, areas west of I-65 tomorrow morning. So I would say, you know, if you do have that Easter egg hunt planned tomorrow, you might just, or whatever you have planned outside tomorrow, you might just have that alternate plan to head inside for a minute, let that pass by. Don't think it's going to be a total washout. So passing showers and thunderstorms tomorrow morning. Notice also that it remains heavier out to our west. We're just kind of on the edge of that stationary front. Good morning to DJ Zip. We talked a lot about you earlier. If you were on earlier, you might need to watch the rewatch, DJ. And Debbie Hennessy, thanks for watching this morning. Neighbor Debbie, I should say. All right, so I think we'll get, again, some breaks here and there. We're going to head into tomorrow afternoon. And here you can see kind of another round. As they approach, they kind of weaken. As they get away from that front, they run into some more stable air as they get away from that stationary front. So the rain heavier out to our west overall, but still a chance for some showers and a few thunderstorms from time to time. The strongest thunderstorms tomorrow could have some gusty winds, maybe some hail, but a low severe weather threat for our area. All right, here's 4 p.m. tomorrow. So notice it's looking mostly dry. I think, again, we're going to have, I think tomorrow morning, early afternoon is probably the wettest time period of our Saturday. That is 4 p.m. For your Saturday afternoon. So again, not a washout here for us for the weekend, but definitely a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. For now, I'm giving it a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms for our Saturday. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to as far out as we can go with the NAM 3 kilometer. And this will take us into our Saturday evening. Notice just some spotty stuff that might be passing through. It looks pretty light for the afternoon and evening time tomorrow. So maybe keep the umbrella if you have some afternoon plans. I think Racing Louisville's playing at 3 tomorrow. Could be a shower. I think a lot of it will be dry. Certainly hope so. Tyler Childers concert tomorrow in Lexington. And so looking pretty good here tomorrow evening. Again, out towards Lexington, you're getting farther away from the front and looking drier that way. Beverly Haggist, happy birthday to your nephews, and your brother. Happy birthday to the Haggis. All right, now we need to jump into the longer range weather model data, and that's going to be the GFS weather model. And here in a little bit, it won't take too long, we will recap the forecast for all of you that got on a little bit late. We'll revisit what we talked about a little bit earlier on Ben at 10. So let me go ahead and move ahead to the GFS high resolution weather model data. And so tomorrow's the 19th. We'll go to Sunday, Easter Sunday. And we'll start it off here. We'll go a little bit. So this is 8 o'clock Sunday morning. So yeah, there might be a passing shower for the Easter services Sunday morning. Not concerned about severe weather with that. This is at 11 a.m. and then I'm going to 2 p.m. and then to 5 p.m. So while there is a shower chance, I've only got it at like a 20% chance right now for Sunday. The bulk of the heavy rain staying out to our west as we look at full screen here. So this is at 5 p.m. I don't know how big your screen that you're watching, whether it's a tablet or a phone, or I think my mom's got me on Extol Media YouTube right now on the big screen, so she might be able to see it in the upper left-hand corner. It says 5 p.m. Sunday. So we're looking at 4:20:25, 5 p.m. Storms out west. Now, it looks like that system will move through our area during the overnight period. That is going to be Sunday late night into early Monday morning. So before that happens, we are in the warm sector here. So I think we're still going to get a nice south breeze Sunday for Easter Sunday. And I am going for a high temperature of around 80 degrees on Sunday because I think we'll have enough dry time. I think we'll get some breaks in the clouds. We're in an early summer-like pattern for Easter Sunday before this front moves through. However, it's not a big air mass changer, meaning we're not going to get that winter-like cold that's to the northwest. If you didn't see that earlier, they're in the 20s right now up in the northern Rockies, the northern plains. We're not going to get that. We're just going to drop to like lower 70s on Monday behind this front. So for us, the warmer, milder air is starting to win out overall. All right, let's jump ahead. So this is at 8 p.m. So it looks like, again, a lot of our Sunday is dry. This here is at 11 p.m. Sunday, your April 20th. And then we're going to go into now we're starting to get into the overnight hours, and now we start to see that line of storms. And I know a lot of you might be nervous after what has already been a very active early spring. We've had hailstorms, we've had tornadoes, we've had wind damage. It doesn't look like this has a ton of energy for severe weather. So the severe weather threat is pretty low for us. And I'll bring up the Storm Prediction Center maps as well, just kind of back me up on that here in just a moment. So the surface cape, the available convective potential energy. Convection is thunderstorm, so the potential, if a thunderstorm gets going, to use that fuel to become strong is very low here, 2 a.m. Monday morning and 5 a.m. Just not a lot of fuel, not a lot of gas for those thunderstorms to use. I think we could have some gusty winds, some lightning and thunder as these storms move through, but it does not look like a significant severe weather threat for us. And it is progressing quickly enough that it should preclude any significant flooding to happen across our area. So that is 5 a.m. Monday morning. Now we're heading to 8 o'clock Monday morning. So I think we'll have some leftover, probably light rain showers after the storms move through by sunrise Monday. And then by the afternoon Monday, we're starting to dry things back out. And as we head into Monday afternoon, we do dry things out. This is at 5 p.m. Monday. So this is 5 p.m., looking a lot drier. Notice the storms are well to the southeast of us Monday afternoon. It looks like we'll still be able to recover maybe to 72, maybe 74 degrees, lower 70s generally for our Monday afternoon. So it looks like it'll be turning out pretty pleasant as that moves through. That'll be the end of the weather model data portion of the show, as it does look like we'll be dry, sunny Tuesday, mid-70s. Wednesday looks dry. Weather model data gets a little bit muddy, a little fuzzy, a little opaque. The Euro and the GFS not agreeing very much, but we might see some more unsettled weather by late next week. But so far, really, it could be a whole lot worse with a front like that close to our area. It doesn't look like we'll have any significant flooding or anything like that. In fact, speaking of the potential of flooding, we'll bring up the total precipitation for the entire weekend. Let me take off the telestration here, and we'll be able to inspect some of the data. This is where there is more significant rainfall to the northwest of our area. Let me go ahead and zoom into our area. And again, these are estimates. This is model guidance. But generally, you're going to see more up around Highway 50 in Indiana, around an inch or two around North Vernon, Jennings County, over towards Seymour, Brownstown, taking Highway 50 west towards Bedford and Mitchell, might get those inch to 2 inch amounts. Latest data showing, south of Highway 56, south of Austin, Scottsburg, maybe around an inch, maybe half inch to an inch, generally. And then you get farther away from that front, and the rainfall totals are a lot less over Kentucky. So that would not be enough to really have any concerns about flooding across the area. But it is still, the soil's still pretty wet up towards the East Fork of the White River, the Muscatatuck River. Could that start to fill back up a little bit? It could. But I just don't think this is going to be a big flooding concern for our area, thankfully. So I think we can manage those rainfall totals. But again, that bullseye of heavier rain, take a look at that as we expand out. They're looking at some big time rain amounts over parts of central Illinois, into Missouri, into Oklahoma. And they're not getting quite what we did 2 weeks ago, as this is not as prolonged of an event, but they could see maybe some flooding out that way. So a lot better for us. Bringing up now the Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlooks. So the severe weather risk for today is to our west. The yellow is a slight risk. That's level 2 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories. This has no risk of severe weather for us for today. We jump to day 2. So this would be tomorrow, Saturday. We are under level 1 out of the 5 severe weather risk categories. That is the lowest level. It's called marginal. Generally, you have garden variety thunderstorms when that happens. There might be a rogue, strong thunderstorm here or there. Maybe a warning for some gusty winds, maybe a little hail. But overall severe weather threat is low for us for tomorrow. that higher threat exists out to the west over Springfield, Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, into Oklahoma, and into Texas. Day 3, this would be your Easter Sunday. Notice the severe weather threat is out to our west. We have no severe weather threat for Sunday. And then day 4 is not showing anything. So again, moral of that story is the severe weather threat is super low for our area. We'll take it. This is the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook. What does this mean? Blue would mean cooler than normal temperatures expected. That's over California. And then you've got warmer than normal conditions expected over our area. This is 6 to 10 day outlook here. Vicki, how about Salem? So same forecast for you. Pretty decent chance of some showers and thunderstorms moving through tomorrow morning, maybe through the early afternoon as well. But up to maybe about inch and a half of rainfall for the weekend total there for you in Salem. All right, this is the 8 to 14 day outlook. So this is getting close to Derby time into Derby week, above normal temperatures still expected. So we're talking well into the 70s, possibly 80s, and just a really nice late spring-like forecast here is from the Climate Prediction Center. And if you search the Climate Prediction Center on Google or whatever search engine you use, there are some interesting maps out there. Sometimes they'll go out a month, a few months. They're less accurate the farther out you go, but it's something to check out if you ever want to check that out. Okay. What else do we want to show here with the weather model data? I think that's all the data that I want to show there. I want to get to the forecast for you because I know some of you are jumping on a little bit later, as we always do. And so I'm going to go ahead and take that off, bring this back on, and we'll move back to the forecast here. All right, so 81 degrees for today. Thank you very much, Vicki, for watching. Hope you guys all have an awesome Friday today. That is awesome. In my opinion, 81, that high temperature, 10 above normal, warm, and we'll just call it windy. Some of the wind gusts around 30 to 35 miles per hour. South wind sustained at around 15 to 25, and our sunset at 8:22. So, I mean, if you could find a kind of sheltered patio area at your favorite bar and grill in southern Indiana, it might be pretty nice out there. Otherwise, if the winds are blowing, the napkins might be flowing a little bit, but it would be great to find a little bit sheltered spot outside to enjoy dinner tonight. The after school play ball forecast, starting off in the lower 80s, heading into the 70s. I definitely don't think we'll need the jackets or the long sleeves. Finally, it will not be cooler than what it actually feels like. So when you get up into the 70s and 80s, you really don't have that wind chill factor anymore, even though it will be breezy out there. In tonight's forecast, a low of 64 degrees, and it's going to be mild and breezy overnight, almost like an early summertime feel. Spring peepers and the crickets, maybe you'll start hearing some of those little creatures out there if you leave the windows open, but just be careful. If you leave the windows open, we'll have a chance for some showers moving through, maybe a rumble of thunder, but most of that looks like it'll stay off to the northwest. South wind at around 10 to 20, sun up at 7:01. And here is that 7-day forecast, which we will wrap up with. Tomorrow, 78. If we end up a little drier, it might touch 80. 81 degrees for Sunday. And again, I'm only giving it about a 20% chance of a passing shower for Easter Sunday as the front is off to the northwest of us, but a 60% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms again for tomorrow morning and into the early afternoon. It looks a little drier by late tomorrow afternoon into the evening time. Not going to be a washout though. And then Monday morning, lingering showers. That front passes by around sunrise, and then 74 degrees. And then it looks fantastic Tuesday, 75, 80 Wednesday. We've had some questions about planting and are we going to see a frost? I don't see it happening. It looks like we stay warm in the 50s and 60s at nighttime. 80 degrees next Wednesday. We might see a shower chance returning by next Thursday or Friday. And as Rebecca Black would say, it's Friday. We got to get down on Friday. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up here on this beautiful Friday. Chris Marlin, one of the best guitar players in Southern Indiana, looking springy. Thanks for tuning in here. Chris, you might be the last comment here at 10:44, now 10:45. So that has been Ben at 10, TGIF. Hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy those warm temperatures out there. Again, might want that umbrella for a little while for tomorrow. Happy Easter to you all. We will see you Monday morning for Extol Unfiltered at 9 a.m. Me and Angie Fenton will talk about whatever we want to talk about. Also join the conversation and talk with us. Oh, Patty hopped in for maybe the last comment. Patty, Winesheimer, looks like the 3rd annual Winesheimer Easter egg hunt is on. Good for you. That sounds fantastic. You guys have a ball out there. Hope it is excellent Easter for you guys. Happy Easter to Beverly. Hey, Beverly hopped on for the last comment, perhaps. All right, so we got Extol Unfiltered. That is going to be on all the channels, so watch that with us. Join the conversation. Then right after that, we'll have Ben at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. We'll see you next week. And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful spring week next week. John, I think John got the last comment. Happy Resurrection Sunday to all, and that'll be it. See you later. Have a great weekend.